Alrighty, hey people. This is just going to be a quick video tutorial about how to make modeling sand. You can make it yourself, and this will produce good quality stuff for next door to nothing, if not for free. Okay, so a lot of places, as you know, hobby stores, they sell modeling sand, which quite frankly is quite expensive for what it is. It's just sand. And I've seen it for quite expensive in quite a lot of places. So I get mine for free. First of all, you're going to need to get hold of your sand. So what I've got here is a small sample. This is just my modeling sand with a few big rocks in it that I'm using as an example. But recently I got a large batch of sand from a building site nearby, and all I did was I went up to the guys there and said, hey, do you mind if I take a little bit of sand? And as long as you're polite and use good manners and everything, they'll usually give it to you for free. Yeah, because what's a couple of litres of sand in the scheme of building an entire concrete building or whatever. So you got your sand. I've got mine for free. You can yeah, find it somewhere, wherever. Right, what you're going to need to do next is dry it. So what I did is I put mine in the oven at a low temperature for a few hours. Or if you have patience, which I don't, you can leave it, just spread it out on a baking tray, and because that'll make it dry quicker. Spread it on a baking tray and leave it in a warm place. So you got your dry modeling sand. The dry sand is a lot easier to work with rather than wet sand, because wet sand is horrible to grade, which I'm going to show you how to do in a minute, and it's not great to work with. Right, firstly what you're going to need is a tray. This is a baking tray, just one we use for cooking. Wash it afterwards, of course, because it's going to have dust and sand and crap in it, so you don't want that in your food. Or if you want one specifically, you could buy one from a dollar store or a pound shop or whatever, really cheap one. This will give you like big space to work in and shake your sand out into. Next thing you're going to need is a sieve. It's just a 2-piece sieve. Just, yeah, it's got holes that are about 1.5 millimeters to 2 millimeters wide. What you're going to do is chuck your sand in. You shake it out on your baking tray. This will filter out all of the sand and the little super fine rocks. Give it a good shake. Use a bigger sieve, of course, if you're using a large amount, or just sieve it out separately. Right, so what you've got now, super fine sand and little tiny rocks, which, yep, are great for representing dirt on your miniature bases and on your terrain projects. Right, so now you got that. I'm just going to put it back in the jar, all that sand. Watch out for the dust if you have asthma or whatever. Might need a dust mask. It has been de-dusted or whatever they do to it. Right. Then, what you're going to need next is a colander. Right, this has about 4 millimeter holes in it. You're going to use this to filter out the small rocks. So, just going to shake this out. This will filter out all of the really big, useless rocks. These are like massive things, and they're not going to be very useful on your typical miniature base. Right, you can save your big old rocks for rubble piles for terrain projects or whatever, or big scenic bases, whatever. Right, so what you've got now is this stuff. This is basically exactly the same size as railway ballast, which you get in modelling stores, and they're all roughly the same size. You might be wondering why I didn't just do it in one go, why I didn't just put the sand and these small rocks straight through the colander. The reason I did that is because I like to have a good ratio of small rocks to sand in my modelling sand. This is because I like my bases to be mostly sand, so they represent dirt, but have a few rocks in it just so it breaks up the monotony of just having a flat, plain, sanded base. So they have a few rocks in it that I can pick up. Right, so yeah, the way I like it is what I usually do every time to get a good ratio is I put a quarter to a third of my container, whatever I'm putting my modelling sand in. I fill it with this small rocks. I haven't done it this time because, as I said, I've just used my modelling sand and I know it's in the right ratio. Right, so yeah, you fill up a quarter to 3/4 of this with, well, a quarter to a third rather, not a quarter to 3/4, quarter to a third with this railway ballast size stuff, and top up the rest, 3/4, with sand. And then that'll give you really good ratio for just basing your typical models. If you want, you could keep them separate if you like that sort of thing. Depends on the way you'd like to base your minis, but I like to do it this way. And there we have it. Perfect modelling sand, like the stuff that they sell in modelling shops for a stupid amount, and I've got mine for free. Okay, hope this has been useful, and I'll see you in the next video.